Hey guys, happy Monday. We are coming off of what I thought was a brilliant pay-per-view last night, so let's get right down to it and talk about it before we get to Monday Night Raw tonight, which will be on in less than an hour, so I gotta get this video out and rolling. Alright, so Clash of Champions Gold Rush. We started on the pre-show with the champions Nakamura and Cesaro versus the Lucha House Party, and Nakamura and Cesaro did retain. This was a really good match. I thought it was a good choice, since they kind of had to swap some things around. This was a good choice of a match to bump down to the pre-show, not because these guys aren't talented and don't deserve to be on the main show, but this was a very fast-paced, exciting match, to get us all hyped and get us all into it. Lucha House Party got along in this match. It still wasn't enough, though, and Nakamura and Cesaro retained. Then we had the first match on the Clash of Champions main show, which was easily, in my opinion, a match of the year contender. One of the two best matches on the night, in my opinion, of what was, in my opinion, one of the best pay-per-views of the year, one of the best pay-per-views in recent memory. This was just a really great showing from WWE, top to bottom, real solid card. Opened phenomenally, ended phenomenally. No pun intended with AJ, because it literally did open with AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy in a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. And this match was crazy. Jeff Hardy in a ladder match, you automatically know is going to be fantastic. But, number one, I loved him recreating his WrestleMania moment. That kind of gave me chills. That just felt really special. Just when you think you can't possibly see any more creative spots, they just constantly keep reinventing it and keep coming up with new stuff to do. And this match, it was brutal. You could see it on their bodies. Everybody was torn up and bleeding, and it was crazy. It was just the welts everywhere. It was a brutal hardcore match. Fantastic match. Very creative ending. You got to give it up to the brilliance of Sami Zayn, pulling out all the stops, pulling out all the handcuffs, and of all the, graphic things that you can do with a ladder and you can do in this kind of match. Without a doubt, the thing that made me cringe the most was him putting the handcuff on Jeff's earlobe. I couldn't even look at that. That freaked me out. But it was super creative. I couldn't believe he did that. It was really cool. He handcuffed Jeff to a ladder by his earlobe. He handcuffed AJ Styles to the ladder. And still, your Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. Love that man. Super brilliant. Big fan of Sami. Glad he's back. Glad he's doing awesome. And glad he's still, and I said still, the Intercontinental Champion, because he has always been your rightful Intercontinental Champion. I love Sami. Alright, so then we had Asuka versus Zelina in the most predictable match, not only on the card, but in anywhere in recent memory. I was under no grand illusions here, even as a huge Zelina Vega fan. Asuka picked up the victory, but you know what? Zelina had a great showing, and that was all that I was really asking for this match. I just didn't want it to be a squash. I am very happy with Zelina's performance in this match. I don't even think that this was like top ceiling for her. She's capable of even more than this, but this was a nice little taste of it. So it was nice to see Zelina finally get in the ring and finally be able to showcase her talents as a WWE female wrestler, which, it's not like I even was bothered by what she was doing before. It's just kind of the, curse of being good at too many things. She's a great talker. She's a great personality. She's beautiful. She's got a wonderful presence about her. She's very charismatic. She plays her role to a T. So she comes off as a great manager and valet, but it is time for Zelina to look out for Zelina and get her in-ring career. Really put the fast forward button on that, and we sure did with the title shot. Unfortunately, she came up short, but judging by the end of that match, I think they're going to meet again. Alright, so we had Lashley versus Apollo. Taking nothing away from the athleticism of this match. Lashley picked up the victory. Kind of felt like I don't want to even say anything bad about anything on this pay-per-view. I'm not saying anything bad about it. It was probably the least exciting match, just in my personal opinion, on this card. Kind of just felt like just a normal match that they would have on the weekly shows. But, not a bad match, but I don't think anything, I shouldn't say not anything was bad on this pay-per-view. There was one thing, and we're about to get to it right now. I know you guys know where I'm going with this. Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Great match, super exciting, crazy athleticism. I am personally just not a big fan of the Street Profits gimmick, but I will never take away from the things they can do in the ring, their athleticism. They put on quite the show, and back in the good old days when we were allowed to have fans, it was always really fun to see the way that they interact with fans. I think they seem like great guys. I thought it would be Andrade and Garza's time here. They weren't on the same page. No more Zelina, which, I guess still didn't help their case because they still came up short in a very strange finish. Street Profits won. They looked as surprised as anybody. Botch finishes happen. They just happen. But Angelo Dawkins could have covered this up a little bit more and, realize that, we're still live, pal. So, camera's still rolling. Work on that reaction. When things go wrong, sometimes you just have to improvise, and that was a little lacking there. But nonetheless, that's what happened. So, Bayley versus Asuka, because unfortunately Nikki Cross was not cleared to compete. So, I don't know. I'm a huge Nikki Cross fan. I was looking really forward to that match. I also thought, I think it was one of the people in the minority that thought that Nikki Cross rather, actually had a shot, because I was thinking that they were building up so much about everything that Bayley has done with Sasha in her corner. Now let's see what she can do when she's on her own. So I thought maybe this would be the time when Nikki Cross would actually take advantage of all that and take it. You never know what else they woulda, coulda had planned for this match. Maybe we would have got, I don't know. I don't think we would have got any Alexa Bliss, but it would have been interesting to see. There still was a lot of unfinished business with these guys. Still was some unanswered questions. I would have loved to see that come to fruition, but unfortunately, that's nobody's fault. We'll never know. But speaking of Alexa Bliss, though, just wanted to say a shout out to Creepy Bliss. I love it. I don't know what you guys think. I think she's doing a great job in that role. She has done so many different transitions in her character that takes a real talent, and she's really got some great acting chops. Obviously, you can see the stuff in the background. It's up all year. I am a huge horror fan. I got the Devil's Reject shirt on right now. I love horror stuff, and I'm actually really enjoying what Alexa Bliss is doing with her character. I think she looks creepy as hell, man. I really like it. Anyways, so we had an impromptu open challenge. Bayley didn't think anybody was going to answer it. She starts celebrating. She gets excited. She gets cut off by Asuka's music. Asuka comes out. Asuka wants a piece of Bayley. Asuka wants to be a double champ. I am glad that did not happen, because honestly, I much prefer Bayley, but also I need Bayley to keep that belt warm for when Sasha comes back. And those guys can continue their feud again. So they have the match, Asuka versus Bayley. Bayley, she hit Asuka with the steel chair, got herself intentionally disqualified, which, you might think, I've heard the words cowardice, chicken thrown around. I think it's smart. I think that's, just brilliant. It's just doing what you got to do to retain that title, which is what Bayley did. She retained her title only to be confronted by her former best friend Sasha, which I was super excited about, because that is my favorite female talent in the whole world. I love me some Sasha Banks, and I love that outfit. Sasha wins best dressed of the night, even though she only showed up for a few minutes. I want those pants. I just got to throw it out there. I know nobody cares, but Sasha, your pants are amazing. I love them. Okay, so Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton in an ambulance match. this was a lot of fun. First of all, the match itself was actually, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't really know what to expect. Sometimes these can go a little long, and I don't know. It would surprise me though with how good it was, and I don't know how to word that without sounding like I. Well, I mean, I didn't expect as much as they delivered, so they over-delivered, so it's a good thing. I'm trying not to make it sound too negative, but that match over-delivered for me. Plus, you throw in all the cameos on top of that. You had the Big Show, you had Shawn Michaels, and then Drew McIntyre won the match, and who is driving the ambulance off into the sunset but Ric Flair? Who probably should not be driving an ambulance at all, let alone one with the door missing and a cracked windshield. Which, oh my god, that bump was freaking crazy. But anyways, so yeah, Ric Flair driving Orton off in the ambulance. That was a fun match. The only thing I was kind of just selfishly hoping for a Beth Phoenix cameo in that match, but I can't complain. There was a ton of cameos. It was a fun match. It was a great match. I enjoyed it. Next, we had one freaking killer of a match. Everything about this build-up has been perfect. All of the packages that they've showed on SmackDown with Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, their family members, the promo, the go-home spot on the go-home show with Roman and Jey, that promo, just to end it on that note, was beyond brilliant in my opinion. They are just flourishing with this story that is props all over the place, to who's writing this, to Roman Reigns himself, to Jey Uso, to Paul Heyman, to everyone involved with this. This has been solid, pure freaking gold from the jump to now, to the match, to the outcome, to the ending, everything. I can't possibly talk any higher of this match. This was just... Another great thing I liked about it is it really felt like a main event. You have these pay-per-views, and they're so frequent, and, you're having at least a WWE pay-per-view, 1 or 2 a month, if you're counting takeovers, and you get to the main event, and, they're not all that big fight feel, WrestleMania main event. But this felt like it. This felt so huge. I could not wait. It was like being a little kid. It was like I couldn't wait for the stare down. I couldn't wait for the bell to ring. I couldn't wait for the lockup. I couldn't wait for the initial confrontation. Just everything about it was, it was magical. It was, everything about this match was magical. The trash talking was perfectly placed. The comeback flare-up spots from Jey Uso was perfectly placed. This match continued. It left off exactly where the storyline did on SmackDown, which was just continuing to just give us our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, versus kind of naive, happy-go-lucky, almost, even though he's the cousin, it's almost like a little brother-ish sort of thing with Jey Uso. And the escalation in this match, too, was brilliant. It was a great match. Should be like a story, and this was. It just, everything was in its place. Everything was perfectly escalated and timed. Everything, it was brilliant. It was great. I loved it, guys. Alright, so, your winner and still champion is your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, because it was getting pretty tough for Jey in there, but Jey was not quitting. Roman wanted to say, call me your tribal chief, tell me I'm your leader, tell me I'm the head of the table. Jey wouldn't do it. Jimmy couldn't watch anymore. Jimmy Uso comes out with a white towel in his hands. Jey's pleading for him not to do it, and just historically, I've always been super into this kind of a spot where it's, especially, it can be used when it's friends or alliances, but especially when it's a tag team, and especially here where it's cousins. The towel spot just, it never gets old to me. I always enjoy it. So, the drama, the tension, the emotion, everything, oh my god, it was so good. Finally, it was too much for Jimmy to take. He threw in the towel. Roman Reigns win via match stoppage. And Jimmy looks up at Roman and said, "You're the tribal chief. You're the leader. Is that what you want? Did it have to go this far? Who even are you anymore?" It was so brilliant. I can't wait to see this feud continue. Oh gosh, we're going on over 15 minutes here. I just want to take a moment before I cut this video off to say that we did talk about Clash of Champions here, which is Raw and SmackDown stuff, but they are still keeping it popping on the other shows. Make sure you are checking out 205 Live. You can get amazing matches like Ashanti Adonis versus Mansoor, which I'm a huge fan of both those guys, and Ashanti's been having some awesome matches lately. They're actually giving him a good story lately. It's some interesting build with him, so go check that out over on 205. In UK, we have the Heritage Cup that's about to start, so make sure you get yourselves on over to watching some NXT UK to check out the Heritage Cup, and everybody say, go Alexander Wolf with the Heritage Cup, because clearly that's who I want to win. Yes, Clash of Champions, amazing show. Loved it. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, view, share, all of that. See you next week. Bye. Mwah.